macOS 15 Sequoia has finally been released to the public. What this means is that if you have a supported Mac like I do right here, you can easily update your device. This that you are seeing right here is a list of all the supported Mac devices that are compatible with this update. Feel free to pause the video right here in order to make sure that your Mac is going to support all the new features and changes that I'm about to cover. First thing you're going to notice after you update your Mac device are the new wallpapers that we have. So these are dynamic wallpapers, meaning that they have light and dark mode. And you can see this is the default Sequoia dynamic wallpaper, but we also have this classic Macintosh wallpaper that you see, and every time you change or you open up your Mac, it has this cool animation. And at the same time, it doesn't end there, because if you go down and you look at the Pro Black wallpapers that were previously removed, they have been returned and the different colors have also been added here. And at the same time, if you go to the landscape wallpapers, because this is macOS 15 Sequoia, we have the Sequoia sunrise that has been added, and we have Sequoia night that you can see right here, which is from the Sequoia National Park. It doesn't end there as well. If you go to the screensaver page, you can see here we have Sequoia sunrise. Just to give you a quick preview of how this screensaver looks, you can see it right here. It's a cinematic slow motion high definition recording, and this is how it looks. This is the next one, which is called Sequoia Morning, and it takes the same national park, the Sequoia National Park in California, and gives you a different perspective of the same park but at a different time frame. And this is how it looks, high definition, and at the same time it's cinematic and has that smooth slow motion effect. A preview of the Sequoia night. This is how the Sequoia night looks. It has this mysterious fog look, and at the same time you can see the different lighting and lamps that are there are prominent and give the fog this dramatic feel. In the launchpad right here, you're going to see a new application which is called iPhone mirroring, and this basically mirrors your iPhone. And at the same time, if you put your Mac or your display into dark mode, the iPhone's wallpaper or screensaver also goes into dark mode, which is pretty cool. And you can see here iPhone mirroring is locked, and if I use my fingerprint to unlock my Mac right here, this is my iPhone 14 Pro. In order to use this, I have to make sure that my iPhone is locked. So if I lock my iPhone there, you can see it initiates the iPhone mirroring, and right now I have the ability to use my two fingers to scroll just like how I would with my Mac. And at the same time, when I go to the top here, it has this cool animation and it's this dynamic feeling. It's so smooth, and if I wanted to write a message or write a note, I'm just using the click here on my Mac, so I can click here, and then if I type using my Mac's keyboard, you can see the random letters or whatever I'm typing right here. And at the same time, if I want to go all the way back, I can click here and go to the home page. If I press it again, you can see that. And if I want to multitask, I have the ability to do that as well. If I want to close an application, I can just use my two fingers to swipe up just like this and be able to close it. On this top menu bar for iPhone mirroring, you can go into the settings right here and choose whether it's going to ask for access or authentication using your Touch ID every time, or you can choose to authenticate automatically. If you want to reset iPhone access, you can also do that. And at the same time, it doesn't end there, because you can see all these notifications that I have right here that have the iPhone besides it are the notifications that my iPhone is basically getting. If I wanted to interact with a notification like right here, I can click on it. It will automatically open up the same group or notification. And if I wanted to reply or do something, I can do so without opening my device. If you want to enable the notifications, if you go into your Mac system settings and go to the notification tab, you have the ability to choose which notifications you want to allow for your iPhone mirroring. And at the same time, if you click on your iPhone mirroring and go to different windows, you can see you have the ability to go to center or put it at center, or if you want to minimize this as well, you can do that. And on the view tab, you have the different quick functions that you can do. So if you want to go to the home screen, you have the ability to do that really quick. Keep in mind that once you unlock your iPhone and begin to use it, you cannot use your iPhone and at the same time use iPhone mirroring, so it will automatically bring this pop-up screen. In the Apple Music application right here, if we open it up and then go to the settings, under the playback section right here, there's a very important settings that was recently added, and you can see it's this one that says prefer HDMI pass-through, and here it says play supported audio in Dolby Atmos and other Dolby audio formats using HDMI pass-through when connected to a supported device. And this allows you to have the high bitrate lossless audio using Dolby Atmos on HDMI pass-through for Apple Music. If you go to the Apple TV application and then go to playback as well, you have the HDMI pass-through as well. And in the QuickTime application, the HDMI pass-through is also supported for that high bitrate audio. It's strange that the Apple TV application on Mac gets it, while the Apple TV itself doesn't actually have this. So Apple needs to do something about that. The Apple Music application right here, this section that's called new actually used to be called browse, so they've reworded it to new, and some sections have been reorganized, which is typical of Apple. And it doesn't only end in the Apple Music application, some other media player or media entertainment applications have been updated with the same changes. Under network security, this is kind of important to turn on. So if you go into your settings and go to your Wi-Fi network setting that you are connected on, we have this private Wi-Fi address, and this helps reduce tracking of your Mac by Wi-Fi network operators, and you can rotate your Wi-Fi address. So if you want to have your Wi-Fi address fixed, which is not the best for security, you can choose that. Or if you want to rotate it, which is the recommended setting, you can do that right here, and that will rotate your Wi-Fi address. The AirPods Pro 2 gesture support that Apple recently announced is supported in this macOS 15 Sequoia update. So in order to have this, or to have the support, you can just nod your head up and down for yes, or just nod side to side like this for no. And because of the updated macOS and AirPods gesture, you'll be able to quickly accept or decline calls and notifications. The new voice isolation features that have been updated with the new AirPods and macOS Sequoia cuts down on background noises, because the microphones on the AirPods Pro will avoid picking up ambient noises with voice isolation prioritizing your voice. And game developers are now able to take advantage of this personalized spatial audio to bring a more immersive feel to those that are playing games on macOS. So that's something that's good. Another change that's here, if you open up your settings application, you notice that on macOS 15 Sequoia, by default, it goes to this general tab. And I don't know if you can see the general text itself right here. It's in bold, and it has this more prominent border around, which has been updated, and it defaults to the general tab right here, unlike before where I believe it used to default to the appearance. On macOS 15 Sequoia, there's also this newly updated passwords application that's probably gonna put a lot of third-party apps maybe out of business. But when you open it up, it asks you to authenticate with your fingerprint, or if it's the first time, you need your passcode. This application includes your passwords. It also includes one-time access codes for two-factor authentication. It has Wi-Fi passwords. It has passkeys. There are also dedicated sections for security alerts, with Apple letting you know about passwords that are too short or have been reused multiple times, or if you have old accounts that you haven't probably changed your passwords like forever, they will also show up under this red security alert. If you click on the plus tab, you can actually share passwords with family and friends by creating a shared password group, which will give everyone in that same password group shared logins to streaming services like home services and more. Good thing about this password application is that if you're using login with Apple, it will automatically pick or go through your list and be able to pull up the password and use your fingerprint, or even on the iPhone use your Face ID to autofill that password. And the passwords that you see here are automatically auto synced and synchronized to your Apple ID, whether it's on iPhone, iPad, Mac, Apple Vision Pro, they will also sync. If you aren't going to be having access to your Apple device like your iPhone or iPad or Mac, then they will also be able to carry over to iCloud for Windows, meaning that you can also be able to access your iCloud passwords from a non-Apple device. This is the Apple Messages application that you can see just above me, and under the Apple Messages application, if you want to type something and you don't want to send it right now but you want to schedule it for send later, you now have the ability to do that. If you click on the plus icon and go to where it says send later, you now have the ability to choose a date and time. So if I click on the month or the section right here, you can see I can choose to send it on the 23rd, and if I click on the time right here, I can choose a time to set. So if I want like 6 p.m. I can do that. If I want like 10 p.m. I can just put like 9 p.m. which is 2100, which is something that's good. I believe it allows you to schedule messages 2 weeks in advance. And if I'm happy with this, I can just click the enter, and you can see here it says send later and Monday September 23rd at this time. And if I click edit, I can choose to send this message right now, or if I want I can edit the time again or just delete this message. And at the same time, you can schedule send multiple messages within the same chat and be able to send those at the set intervals. The emojis too have been updated right here, so you can see when you pull up your emojis, they look kind of bigger, and at the same time your stickers are now showing properly unlike before. And you can see they also updated these symbols that you see right here. So I believe here this section used to be like fries and a drink, like a McDonald's thing, but it has been updated to just an apple. And at the same time, the sports as well as the building and the emojis too have been updated, and it just gives it a more symbol look and a more modern look. If you have a message that you want to respond to, you can right click on it, and you can see we have tapbacks that you can use, which have now become more colorful. And at the same time, Apple is allowing you to be able to reply to messages with stickers. If I click on stickers right there, you can see a list of stickers that I have, and if I want to send this chalk, it will bring up different variants. If you have multiple, it just takes a moment to load depending on your sticker pack or whatever you have. And if you have the one that you want, you can select it there and send it, and the sticker will be attached to that same message. You can see this message that I just pasted right here. So if you want, you can use bold. So if you select or highlight the text, you can make it bold like this. Or if you want to use italics, just select the text that you want to put in italics and you can see it there. If you want to underline something, just select the text and then right click on it and select underline. And at the same time, if you want to use strike through to emphasize certain parts, you can just use the strike through right there. It's just a matter of right clicking and selecting the option that you want. Technically, if your text has these effects that you are seeing right here and you send it on the recipient end, it should be able to do some of these effects that you see, like Jira, your text will be shaking, or Bloom and Ripple will also be effect on the same text as well. Brought by popular demand right here, you can see window tiling is finally here on macOS 15 going forward. So if you have a selected window like I do right here and you drag and drop it in a certain corner like this, it gives you a quick preview of the window where you can pop the tile. And at the same time, if you take another one and you just take it close to the same corner right there, it gives you the same option. And keep in mind that not all applications are going to be tiled the same. So this is just a quick preview to show you how this works. And at the same time, if you press and hold this button right here, you can see instead of just the move and resize option that we used to have, you now have the ability to choose more options. So if you want to choose like this, where you have two big applications side to side like this, you can do that. Or at the same time, if you press this section and then you want like a quarter where you want to have 4 different applications, you can choose that tiled option. In my opinion, it's not as clean as what some third-party applications have to offer. So you can see if I select this option how it looks, but it's good to see that Apple is working on this, and this is the worst that it's gonna be because this is the first version of it and it's only gonna get better going forward. For video conferencing, this is macOS. I'm just using FaceTime to demonstrate this. We have different backgrounds. So if we click on this window right here and go to where it says FaceTime, you can see we have backgrounds that we can turn off, and it looks like this. And if we turn on the backgrounds, you can see how they look. And at the same time, if you click on the image, you can see here you have just different colors of backgrounds that you can select. So this is how these black ones look, and there's about 9 different colors that you can select right here, and they look like this. If you go on the middle tab right here, you can see these different images that we have. These are like different places at Apple Park, and you can see if you want to go here, you can show it off and in your meeting. And Apple says that it's industry leading segmentation technology that has been added to make sure you look best on calls with backgrounds enabled. But to me, they just look like plain simple backgrounds, and it's good to know that these work not only just in FaceTime, but if you go to other third-party applications like Zoom or Teams, you have the ability to use the same backgrounds. And if you want to import your own backgrounds, you have the ability to do that, because if you go to the pictures, you can choose from photos or choose specific files that you want to add to backgrounds, and you select them, or you want to point to something while in a meeting or demonstrate, you can easily be able to do that and say, hey, macOS 15. Something that isn't good at this point in time is that these backgrounds aren't supported on third-party or like continuity camera. If I was to use my iPhone, you can see the big difference in quality from my built-in camera on the Mac compared to this, which is my iPhone 13. So when I switch over to this and try to use backgrounds, it disappears. But keep in mind that there's also an update to FaceTime and Teams, well, just video conferencing in general on macOS 15 Sequoia, which allows you to preview the screen that you want to share before you do, so that you don't share something that you don't want to share and later on regret it. But yeah, I like the backgrounds, but Apple should make them work with continuity camera for the iPhone and other third-party cameras. Now, under Apple Notes, which you can see I've opened up, they now support audio capturing recording right from within Notes. So you see this little sound wave right here, record audio. I'm recording a video on macOS 15 Sequoia about the new features and changes, and with recordings right from Notes, it can generate live audio transcripts, and you can search through your transcript and include the info with other documents and comments by forwarding that note. So let me just pause this, and if I stop, you can see it gives me like a quick transcript of that recording, and if I wanted to share it or send it to someone, I can do that, or I can forward it and add notes to it and send it to another person. The Notes application has also been updated with now a new built-in math notes feature that allows you to solve equations. So you can see I wrote 2 + 2, and if I just press the equal sign, it automatically generates for me the answer, which is 4, and you saw the answer in the highlighted or the yellow number. And this will allow you to solve equation, crunch numbers, so you do things like add up monthly budgets or figure out how to split different restaurants bills within the notes. And at the same time, because it's iCloud synchronized, these same notes will be able to show up on your other Apple devices like iPhone and iPad. Safari has also been updated in macOS 15. Just to show you the version that I'm on, it's version 18.1. So it's pretty much out there, and one of the highlight or headline features is something called highlights, which aims to make it easier to discover information on websites. So this is just a typical example. We have an updated reader mode that you can open. So if you click on this reader mode, you can see how it looks right here. It minimizes distractions, and at the same time, you can be able to change different colors. So this is how the black color looks. If I select this gray one, which I feel like this is good, that's how it looks. This is how this other different color looks, and this is how the white looks. I think this is the best looking color, and you can choose different font as well for your reader, and most pages that are visited have support for this new reader mode. According to Apple, reader mode has also been expanded to video. So if Safari detects a video on a page that you are on, the video viewer will put it front and center, complete with system playback controls. I'm not sure if this is what they are referring to, but you can see under here I have this video viewer, and if I click on it, it brings it front and center, and this is from the YouTube website right there. If you go to a website that has a lot of distractions or a lot of pop-up screens that you don't really like, you can actually hide those. If you click on this option and select hide distractions, you can see you can select the distraction, and it has this cool animation where it hides the distractions, and you can literally almost hide everything. So if I don't like this fish section, I can hide it there. If I don't like the veggie, I can hide it there. If I don't like the whole section, I can basically hide it there. And it's meant to be used to hide different distracting items or pop-up screen to help you focus on what you want to do. And this is something that has been added, and most other sites do support this. If you want to save your changes, you can click done. If you don't want to save, you can literally just click cancel, and everything you've removed will come back. This hide distraction mode in Safari works best with static. If something is dynamic and is changing in nature, then it's definitely not going to work all the time, because it's gonna keep reappearing and you're gonna have to keep doing that. So it's best for static items. The Apple Maps application in macOS 15 Sequoia now supports topographic map with details, trail and hikes, including trails for all 63 US national parks. You can literally just browse through different routes right here. What you can do is basically browse through the different or thousands of hike and save different routes and add notes. Plus you can create custom hikes with walking routes as well. Custom routes are only available when you are using the walking direction right here, so you can't use these when getting directions or traveling by car. And routes created with the Mac can be sent over to your iPhone, so you can plan on the large screen and use those with directions on your iPhone as well. The calculator app on macOS 15 Sequoia, you can see that it's been updated. When you open it up for the first time, it opened up on my other monitor. If I drag it here, you can see that the aesthetics or just the way it looks has been brought forward. And if you go to the view section, you can choose between scientific, you can choose programmer as well. And at the same time, if you go to the basic, you can choose under here and be able to do the same section. And the same math notes that I showed in the notes application actually work here. And if you start a math note on the calculator app on macOS, it will automatically carry over to the iPhone and the iPad, where you have the Apple Pencil and can then do advanced. And at the same time, if you want to convert currency or other things, you can be able to do that. So you have angle, you have area, currency, data, energy, force. There's a lot of things that you can actually convert. The calendar application has also been updated on macOS 15 Sequoia. The update that's here is that it integrates it with the reminders. So if you use your iPhone to set a reminder using Siri, which I won't do right now, like to remind you to cancel a subscription on a specific date, you'll be able to see that reminder auto-populate on your calendar. So if you want to cancel something like on the 1st of October, you can do that and it will automatically show up in your reminders app and on the calendar. And when you look at your schedule, you'll be able to see that. In the Freeform application, when you open it up for the first time, you're going to see a new pop-up screen, and pop-up screens are going to be there for most applications because there's going to be a new updates once you update your device in order to make them compatible with this macOS 15 Sequoia. Once you click continue, you can organize and present boards by section with scenes, send a copy to your board or anyone with just a link, and also the view tab as well as the arrange has been updated as well with this update. Now the photos application received a minor update, so when you open it up, you can see that it now has updated collections and you now have the ability to organize your library into different topics, which include recent trips, days, people, pets, plus you can customize it with collection by pinning your favorite collections to the top, and that will be the first one that you see. Now the weather application too on macOS 15 Sequoia was recently updated, so if you look at it, you'll be able to see that some font has been made bold, and at the same time the temperature is listed more prominently near the actual temperature, which you can see right there. And at the same time, you'll be able to see different pop-up screens that will tell you click for more details, see hourly, sun, sun protection guides for the next 10 days, and these pop up in random places from what I've been experiencing with this update. Now, another app that received minor changes is this home application that you can see right there. So now with guest access, you have the ability to manage who is able to enter your home down to the day and time, which is ideal for regular visitors. Later this year, Apple is actually planning to add support for robot vacuum integration and electricity usage into the app, whereby you'll be able to automatically trigger the robot to begin cleaning, and you'll be able to view your energy usage for specific appliances that have the smart home support in the home application, which is something that's neat. A game that was recently updated, I can't believe I'm saying this on macOS, is the chess game, which I've never actually played, but you can see here it's been given like this 3D design, and you can always move it around, and at the same time the board as well as the different elements on the board have been updated to give it a more 3D and more modern and prominent look as well. Road applications such as the Road Central and Road Connect are currently not working with macOS 15 Sequoia, so if you rely on those applications and services they provide on the main, these are crashing all the time, so beware before you update. Just make sure the softwares you use are working with this before you go onto it. Now, in the Apple App Store, you are going to see a lot of updates. I've actually been updating my apps as I've gone, so make sure you update all your applications, and at the same time it doesn't end there. If you go into the settings of the App Store, Apple has added the ability to download and install large apps to a separate disk, and you can choose, if this option is highlighted, you can choose that apps larger than 1 gig will be downloaded to an external disk directly without them having to come to your Mac. Another update with the Apple Mac App Store is the fact that applications that you're trying to download from the App Store no longer require twice the storage of the application size. What I mean is that before, with macOS versions before Sequoia, if you wanted to download a 5 gigs application, you needed to have at least a minimum of 10 gig storage available on your Mac, but now that's no longer the case, and this is pretty useful for people that have like MacBook Airs that have 256 gigs of storage for the base model. The Apple Intelligence page has recently been updated, and what I'm happy to share with you is that Apple Intelligence is going to be free to use and will be initially available in US English this October, and they've now added, for users like myself who are in Canada, Canadian English support available this December, and they've put this asterisk, of course, that these are the devices that you need. Just know that you need an iPhone 15 Pro or Pro Max and newer, and you need an Apple Silicon M1 device. Now, this update that I'm covering right now is not the macOS Sequoia update that's going to bring most of the Apple Intelligence and Advanced Siri to macOS, so I've decided to skip those updates because currently those are only available in macOS Sequoia 15.1. This is the first version, and 15.1 is currently in beta as I speak right now, and the first features of Apple Intelligence we are going to be able to see when October arrives. Keep in mind that I've covered Apple Intelligence on macOS, so if that's a video that you are interested in, check it out on the channel. I'll leave it in the description of this video, and that's about it for me when it comes to macOS 15 Sequoia. Everything that you definitely need to know. So hit the like button if you found this helpful in a way, and definitely do subscribe so that you don't miss out when macOS 15.1 is officially released and we get to see Apple Intelligence on Mac. So stay safe, and my name is Ben. I'm signing out.